Well, sorry for all the extra noises during the intro. I didn't realize I had my mic on. Anyway, I hope everybody is having a decent day. News has been a bit off the charts, in my opinion. Some pretty big news as far as what's going on over there with Russia. Some definite, I don't want to call it escalation. To be honest, I had actually told you guys about this a while back. I can't remember how long ago. They were talking about the S-400 missile systems and how they were going to deploy them in Ukraine. And I said, in fact, one evening, I don't remember which night it was, I had told you guys that I knew it's somebody that had given me some information that they had already had S-500 systems deployed. And that's been months ago. Apparently, that was correct. Now, you have to understand, you're going to get everything delayed information, regardless of what they say. They are, they're upping the ante, but they're doing so through propaganda, through media, right? And each side just keeps upping the ante a little bit more. You have to understand, they have a lot of this stuff, a lot of this equipment, a lot of these weapons in place long before you ever hear about it. And so I suspected this was the case. At that particular time, Russia themselves, Putin himself, was saying that these missiles were currently, in the process of being produced, that they more or less just passed all their testing and stuff like that, and they were getting ready to gear up to start producing them. Now, that was the last that Russia had said about it, and again, this was back at that time when they were talking about deploying the S-400 systems, and I said then that, they were deploying S-500. So that has came out. That has came out along with information on the Sarmat system. And again, just as a reminder, the Sarmat is a weapons delivery, a payload delivery system, okay? In other words, you can put many different types of warheads on that payload delivery system. It's just a rocket. You can put many different types of payloads on that rocket. So there's a lot of channels that automatically want to come out because of the testing that was done with a particular warhead, and they always run to that one because it's the only one they know about. And that is nothing compared to the MIRVs. Not even remotely anything compared to the MIRVs. So, and those are the deal where it's like a warhead that opens up, and there's multiple re-entry glide vehicles, and I believe they're the hypersonic kind, the hypersonic re-entry glide vehicles, which obviously are warheads, and they can put them on our foreheads, and they're, to my knowledge, is nothing that we have as far as missile defense that can defend against these things. So, again, I will say that even though it wasn't like a direct escalation, because they've been posturing their weapons and equipment for some time now. This is not diplomatically, but how do you even say it? Propagandally? It is a definite escalation, and we better keep our eye on it. I do think things are going to slide rather quick especially with this considered. And the reason why is because that S-500 is, that thing's pretty mean. And if NATO wants to have much effectiveness, they're going to need to do it before they get even more of these systems deployed. So, I don't know. Maybe that's why NATO hasn't gone in. Maybe because they're aware, and they don't want to take the risk. These are, again, this S-500 is a serious business. So, but anyway, so that was notable. There was quite a few other things in the news. Energy is becoming a big problem over in Europe. They are really starting to feel the crunch over there. I've got news on that. I've actually got quite a few tabs open. Got all kinds of craziness here. Go ahead and switch over. So this is the S-500. It says here, Putin announces deployment of S-500 air defense systems. Says Russian military is in the process of deploying the S-500, the most advanced air defense system in the country, President Vladimir Putin said on Tuesday. The Russian leader made the announcements during an address to the graduates of military colleges in Moscow as he described Russia's plans for fielding advanced weapon systems, which he said will determine the combat capabilities of the Army and the Navy for years and decades to come. Putin stated that the S-500 long-range missile system, which is designed to intercept aircraft and missiles and may have some anti-satellite capabilities, had no equal in the world. The S-500 Prometi was designed by arms manufacturer Almaz-Antey and a continuation of its family of long-range surface-to-air missiles. It is believed to have a range of 600 kilometers and capable of intercepting targets traveling at hypersonic speeds, including warheads of intercontinental ballistic missiles. Yeah. The Prometi is said to be closely integrated with other Almaz-Antey systems, such as the S-400 and the S-350, which will allow deployed batteries to have synergy with other elements of Russia's layered air defense. Backwards compatible. Imagine that. Almaz-Antey head Yan Novikov, something like that, said the company expected the S-500 to become the backbone of Russia's anti-air capabilities. He confirmed back in April that the system had gone into serial production. So now here they say that in April they said it went into production. And what I'm remembering could have even been just a tad before that, or maybe it was that particular time that I'm talking about. Have a sip here. And here is about the Sarmat. Putin gives update on newest Sarmat ICBM deployment. Russia's newest Sarmat nuclear-capable intercontinental ballistic missile will be deployed in 2022, President Vladimir Putin has said. We have successfully tested the Sarmat heavy intercontinental ballistic missile. According to the plan, the first such system will enter combat duty at the end of the year, Putin said in an address to graduating cadets on Tuesday. The Sarmat was test-fired in April. The missile will replace the older Voyevod systems, also known by NATO reporting name SS-18 Satan. Dmitry Rogozin, the head of the Russian space agency Roscosmos, said in April that the Sarmat, dubbed Satan II, is the most powerful missile of its class in terms of range and warheads. It was designed to be invincible to all existing air defenses, he said. Rogozin added that Sarmats are much faster than Voyevodas and can strike targets at virtually unlimited range. Colonel General Sergei Karakiyev, The commander of Russia's strategic rocket forces announced this month that modernization will with top-notch combat-ready missiles, including the Sarmat and the Avangard hypersonic glide weapon, will reach 86% by the end of 2022. So, that means, plain and simple, over 80% of their missile systems and weapon systems will be updated by the end of this year. It's not good. Not good. I mean, we are really struggling to catch up as far as our military equipment in this area. There are so many weapon systems that we have no clue about, different technologies we have no clue about. But when it comes to the ballistic missile game, we are behind. Can't speak for any of the other games that I don't know about. But we are behind on this one. And Pentagon said it. Defense Department said it. Everybody said it. So that puts Russia and China and any other country that would like to do us harm, or may like to do us harm, or may need to do us harm, that puts them in a position of either strike now or wait until we get our defenses built. Because believe me, I firmly believe that the United States, given enough time, would get their defenses built back up and would be again ready to kick ass one day. Right now, that's something we have to work on. So, yeah. You're right. The transgender game is strong, though. And I hear these new soldiers can really kick ass in heels. And I got to tip my hat to them for that. Because as long as they don't break a nail or heel, they're good for combat. Alright, better move on before I get myself canceled. Oh, well, hell, I did that long ago. I probably invented canceled. Let's see. Canada announces multi-billion-dollar missile plan. So even they're getting into the game, right? Ottawa is committed to investing at least $3.8 billion over the next 6 years to modernize the joint U.S.-Canadian early warning system known as North American Aerospace Defense Command. The folks that tell you about Santa coming in every year. Anyway, yeah, that's we need to spend $3.8 billion to make sure that they can continue telling us about Santa. But anyway, it says here as autocracies, I'll get it right, autocracies like Russia threaten the rules-based international order that has protected us for decades as our climate changes and our competitors develop new technologies like hypersonic weapons and advanced cruise missiles. There is a pressing need to modernize Canada's NORAD capabilities, Anand said, as cited by CBC. The initial $3.8 billion investment is just the first part of an even more ambitious plan to spend up to $31 billion over the next 2 decades. She did not provide a specific breakdown of where the money will go, but named several areas of the initiative will focus on, including the Arctic Over-the-Horizon Radar System, a space-based surveillance project, and a new system called Crossbow with early warning sensors deployed across the country. Speaking at an airbase in Trenton, Ontario, Anand repeatedly pointed to Russia's military operation in Ukraine as the reason Ottawa decided to commit billions toward upgrading the aging missile warning system. NORAD has continually adapted and evolved in response to new threats. Today we turn another page and begin NORAD's next chapter, Anand said, providing no specific timeline, adding that all existing systems will remain active until the expected upgrades are in place. So, That's what I'm saying. When it comes to the missile game, we are catching up. It's definitely a game of catch up. Here we have another issue with Taiwan. Taiwan scrambles jets and missiles over Chinese flight. And this was another significant flyover. Taiwanese interceptors took to the air on Tuesday as 29 Chinese fighters, bombers, and support aircraft were reported off the southwestern coast of the island, the Defense Ministry in Taipei said. 6 bombers and their fighter escorts flew into the Pacific Ocean through the channel between Taiwan and the Philippines and back again in the third largest foray into Taiwan's air defense identification zone this year. In addition to the 6 H-6 bombers, the People's Liberation Army Air Force sent 17 fighters and another 6 support planes, the Taiwanese military said. Some of them flew northeast of the Pratas Atoll and the South China Sea, while the bombers and 2 support planes took the Bashi Canal route into the Pacific before turning back the way they came. Taiwan dispatched interceptors to ward off the PLAAF squadron and used missile systems to track them, the Defense Ministry said in a statement. According to Taipei, this was the third largest group of Chinese aircraft to enter the Taiwanese ADIZ this year. Another 30 jets came through on May 30th, while a January 23rd flyby involved 39 planes in total. So again, this is continuing to go on. Can't really say it's escalating because there are fewer planes, but nonetheless, it's continuing to go on. As I was saying, EU's facing quite a few energy problems right now. They have been for a while. It's continuing to get worse. The EU's being warned of gas shortages ahead of winter. Says here Europe will not be able to fill its gas storage facilities before winter unless new steps are taken, Dutch Climate and Energy Minister Rob Jetten said on Monday. We see the overall supply of gas from Russia to Europe is rapidly declining. This means that without additional measures, it is no longer possible to guarantee that we will be able to fill gas storage facilities in Europe and the Netherlands enough to prepare for winter, Jetten warned, as cited by Russia's RIA Novosti news agency. He did not specify what additional measures he was referring to. Jetten also noted that the Netherlands is already taking steps to prepare for the heating season, but did not elaborate specifics. He added that for current purposes, his country has enough gas. I want to emphasize that at the moment there's no acute gas shortage, Jetten stated, noting, however, that more countries are now being squeezed by Russia. Jetten's comments follow a decision by Russia's Gazprom to slash natural gas deliveries to Europe via the Nord Stream pipeline by some 60%. This happened after German maintenance provider Siemens failed to return pumping units from repairs in Canada due to anti-Russia sanctions. So I wanted to read to that far so you could reconnect it to what this was, because I cover so many different energy shortages and issues over there. That one was related to the Siemens pumps. So Germany on the verge of gas emergency alarm stage. Here it says Germany is preparing to enter the second phase in its gas emergency plan within 5 to 10 days, Die Welt reported on Tuesday, citing sources familiar with the matter. The so-called alarm phase is triggered when there is a disruption in the gas supply or an exceptionally high demand for gas, which leads to significant deterioration of the gas supply situation, but the market is still able to cope with this disruption or demand without the need to take non-market-based measures, according to the German Economic Ministry's 3-stage plan. The Federal Association of Energy and Water Industries refused to confirm or deny the next steps of the emergency plan was due to take effect when asked by Die Welt. Gas regulator Bundin, and I can't say all that, has recently outlined details of an auction system to be debuted in the coming weeks aimed at reducing gas consumption among manufacturers. The agency's head has expressed concern that current gas supplies will last Germany through the winter. At the same time, the CEO of Germany's largest energy utility, Markus Kreber, hinted at an apocalyptic scenario, as there is currently no plan at European level to redistribute the gas if they were fully cut off. If imposed, the measures will allow utilities to pass on gas costs to consumers. While it is unclear how high those price increases will be, one source suggests the average three-person household could face an increase as high as 2,000 euros. That is insane. Can you imagine? Could you imagine? Now, I can't tell you how many euros the average bill would be, but I'm going to guess for a household of 3. I'll say a couple hundred euros, I would think. I'm guessing, but a couple hundred euros? Man, it's crazy. Crazy. Here, they're struggling too, clearly. Hang on, let me make sure the world's not coming to an end. No. Somebody else wanting to join? Oh, been on Facebook 14 years, you're good. Alright, I got the local group that we administer, and just the town community group, so it's actually growing. We're with the addition of that person, we may be one person from 1,000. I mean, we're like right there, unless somebody else snuck in the back door. No, we're at 999 members right now. One member away from 1,000. Anywho, we'll burn anything to keep people warm, says a Czech official. Czech ambassador at large for energy security, Václav Bartuška, has promised his country will do everything in its power to generate heat and electricity if gas supplies run low this winter. We basically have a repeat of the 1973 oil shock. If there is a gas cutout this winter, we will burn anything we can to keep our people warm and make electricity. Bartuška said on Monday, speaking to Brussels-based journalists, as cited by Reactors. His comments came ahead of Czech presidency of the Council of the EU, which begins on July 1st and will last 6 months. According to the official, it is still possible to provide the EU with gas before the heating season if European countries sign long-term contracts with LNG suppliers. The European Commission has been uneager to sign with them in the past, but according to Bartuška, the situation has changed. You would not hear that from the Commissioner a year ago, or half a year ago, or 4 months ago. There is a clear understanding on their side that the member states need to survive. The governments need to survive the winter, he stated. So, again, they're really in a bad way over there without that Russian energy. And that's what happens when you become energy dependent on other nations, or in any way dependent, food dependent, any way dependent on any other nations. And it's really no difference, whether it's a household or a nation. You have to be careful of that, and that's why we encourage prepping so much, is so that you can fill in that gap. Because, again, whether it's on a household level or national level, whether it's on a community level, it doesn't matter. Your ability to be self-sufficient is imperative to your ability to survive. So, man, I think it's going to get worse over there. I think it's going to get much worse. I have a feeling before it's all said and no doubt before it's all said and done, I think there's going to be a 100% 100% cut on energy. Let's see. This was kind of crazy. I just happened to run across this article on social media. Just sad. Teen stabbed to death at bus stop outside Nashville Walmart. Article's not very long, but a 14-year-old was stabbed to death at a bus stop outside a Walmart parking lot in Nashville, Tennessee, according to Metro Police. WSMV reports a fight broke out between two groups of girls inside a Walmart and continued into the parking lot. Police say the altercation continued to a bus stop just outside the lot at around 9:45 p.m. According to police, one of the girls charged at 14-year-old Malia Powell with a knife and stabbed her at the bus stop. Powell was taken to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. Police are looking for the girls involved and are using surveillance video from cameras in the parking lot and social media posts in their investigation. So, it is crazy. Crazy out there. 14 years old. What are any of those kids that age doing? Yeah, I mean, I get that kids fight, but why the hell are kids this young fighting with weapons like that? Just blows my mind. I know that's knives, and that's nothing compared to the amount of guns that a lot of these young kids are carrying, and it's tragic. It's tragic, and like I've been saying, with the temperatures getting warmer and stuff like that, you're going to see an increase in this kind of stuff. So, just the way it is. Let's see. I thought this was kind of crazy. This came out just like right before the show. NASA wants nuclear reactors on the moon because that's a good idea. Anyway, it said NASA would. What are they going to do? Are they going to run an extension cord from the moon to the United States? Anyway, NASA would like to have a nuclear power reactors for lunar and planetary expeditions, the U.S. Space Agency said on Tuesday, announcing 3 contracts for developing concept designs by the end of the decade in partnership with the Department of Energy. Military-industrial behemoth Lockheed Martin is one of the 3 companies involved, along with the nuclear veteran Westinghouse. Must be nice to just have these companies that... I need a reactor. NASA hopes to have a design for the fission surface power system. Yeah, I need one of those. Ready to launch by the end of the decade. John Wagner, director of the DOE's Idaho National Laboratory, called the project a very achievable first step towards the U.S. establishing nuclear power on the moon. Because what could go wrong? 3 12-month contracts are each worth $5 million and will fund initial design concepts for a 40-kilowatt fission power system with a requirement to last at least 10 years in the unforgiving environment of the moon. If successfully demonstrated on the lunar surface, the reactors could be used for the eventual mission on Mars, NASA said. Now, I think that we need to make sure that the moon will be hospitable for anything up there, and I think that we need to immediately send the administration and Congress up there to field trip and let us know how the air is up there. That would be a good test, right? Just take them all up, get one of those space shuttles out of the damn museum, strap it onto a SpaceX rocket, launch their asses up there, and then once you landed the thing on the moon, landed it on the moon, then you just open up the bay doors, and you tell them take a deep, deep breath, and then it's science, yo. We just sit back and we watch. We sit back and we watch science. Science is a beautiful thing. Ah. Forgive me, Father. Let's see. In addition to Lockheed Martin, Lockheed, that's supposed to be Martin, not Margin, and Westinghouse, the third contractor will be a Texas-based outfit called IX. They don't even get a full name. It's just like 9. Can I have the contract? 9. Anyway, it is a joint venture between spacecraft. By the way, for those that don't know, IX would be 9. It's a joint venture between designer Intuitive Machines and X Energy, developers of an experimental pebble bed reactor. I'm telling you, I need one of them. Definitely need one of them. I don't know about this, Captain. But they're going to do what they're going to do. So that's the plan. We can't do a damn thing about homelessness. We can't cure cancer. Hell, government can't even pour piss out of a boot with the instructions on the bottom. But we can put a nuclear reactor on the moon. Cool. Cool story, bro. Sight to behold. I thought I would, this is the last tab I have open, then I'll get to the headlines. I thought I'd end with, in my opinion, an awesome story. Well, not awesome for the fire, but you'll see. Sight to behold, cross remains standing after fire at Texas church. It stood tall among the smoking debris surrounding it. A cross was all that remained of Balsora Baptist Church in Bridgeport, Texas, after a fire swept through the building Friday, leading to a response from a dozen area agencies. The Boonsville Balsora Volunteer Fire Department described the church fire as a devastating loss to the community, but noted that the cross was a sight to behold. Assembled, the building was just that, a building. The church is the congregation, and where two or more gather, there shall be also, the department wrote in a Facebook post alluding to Matthew 18:20. The roof began to collapse while firefighters were still inside, and several firefighters were treated at the scene. Extreme temperatures taxed resources and available manpower, the department said. There were no other injuries reported, according to the fire department, and no one was inside when crews entered the church. The Facebook post featured an image taken by the Lake Bridgeport Volunteer Fire Department of the cross standing among the destroyed remnants of the church building. That image right there. The cross reminds us to all to stand tall. The Lake Bridgeport Volunteer Fire Department wrote on its page. It remains standing in all of its glory, while its background is nothing but ash and debris. Simple reminder how precious life is and how quickly it can turn. The fire didn't stop the congregation from worshiping over the weekend. The church gathered for prayer Sunday morning. Investigators said the cause of the fire remains under investigation. So, thought that was a cool story. Alright, let me have a couple of sips of coffee and a couple of vapes. We'll read some headlines and I will go do my duty. I gotta take trash out. Oh, man. So, yeah, just with that, it was kind of an interesting news day, huh? I do expect things to continue to move forward, and when I say that, I don't mean in a positive way. I think all of the above issues, I think, are can continue to deteriorate, and I hate to be saying this stuff, but I think over the course of the next few weeks, we are going to see even more changes, especially in the grocery stores. And I do believe it's going to be devastating. As far as fuel, I don't know really what opinion to have on that. I don't think anything's going to go down. But I don't know the likelihood, to be honest, because I haven't been really watching that situation as closely. I don't know the likelihood of it shooting up. I think here, let me see. Huh. Now it's not popping up. It used to pop up. There we go. Yeah, it's still steady. We really haven't changed here, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. I believe that was a wood cross. Let me one more time reopen close tab, and let me see. It looks wooden to me, because to me it looks like that the fire did actually do damage. It looks to me like it's charred, but still standing. So I'm gonna say wood, but I couldn't tell you for positive. Let's see. Okay, Canada announces... Oh, I covered that. Another EU state returns to coal, and you're going to see this... you're going to see this continue with these... They're not going to have a choice. I mean, they're just simply not going to have a choice. And by the way, that country was... didn't mean to do that. Netherlands. So Netherlands, Germany, and Austria at this point returning to coal. And that's what this one is here. Austria puts green energy transition on hold, says media. So that's essentially what that's saying. This article says EU must not backslide to coal burning, says EU Commission. I would say it's already starting. A second EU country offers to export Ukrainian grain. American fighter killed in Ukraine, says the media. U.S. Navy had brush with Iranian fast attack craft, says a report. Finland comments on prospects to join NATO. EU gives advice on compensating for Russian gas. Ruble rally continues to defy sanctions. Russia threatens Lithuania with serious consequences. U.S. wants to cap Russian oil revenues. Let's see. Oh, I covered that one. Musk announces big job cuts at Tesla. German-Slovakian arms swap for Ukraine in limbo, says media. UK fuel prices keep soaring. A Russian journalist sells Nobel Peace Prize for $103.5 million. Anti-Russia sanctions hurting Germany, says Scholes. Biden blames Russia for record number of refugees. Russia's responsible for everything, according to Biden. EU warned of gas shortages ahead of winter. I don't know if that was one of them I covered with a different headline. Russia adopts law on foreign goods. Scholes hits back at weapons complaints. Biden leading U.S. to a world war, says Trump. Moscow reacts to Ukrainian attacks on gas rigs. And they say that the reason why Ukraine had attacked the rigs to begin with, they attacked two different rigs and caused a fire on one of them. And their claim is, Russia's claim is, the reason why they went after the civilian oil platforms was because they were upset because they were trying to retake, I think it said Snake Island or something. They were going to retry to take that. And failed very miserably in their attempt, and that was them, you know. I don't know. To me, that's nuts. Attacking civilian positions. And where's the media on that, by the way? Where's the media on that? Crazy. Canada wants to confiscate Russian assets. LGBTQ community wants Zelensky advisor fired. Do these people know anything about Ukraine? Do they really know? Because if they do anything like this to placate to the LGBT community, that's all it is placating. They are neo-Nazis. Believe me, I doubt that they think too highly of the LGBTQ community. Just my suspicion, but I don't think neo-Nazis, no. Russia will never trust the West again, says the Kremlin. Let's see. Turkey further from EU than decades ago, says von der Leyen. Germany gives full breakdown of military aid for Ukraine. Elon Musk's teen offspring reveals name and gender change. Yeah. So, and wants nothing to do with Elon. So, let's see. We'll burn anything to... Oh, I covered that one. Tesla car is reportedly banned from Chinese resort. They've run the power bill up too much. Major European nation buys tons of Russian gold, says Bloomberg. I covered that story earlier. U.S. think tank's Kremlin researcher cites fake report from satirical website. Just right on par for them. Russia tells West to stop mixing politics and health. Hell, we've been saying that for over 2 years now. EU Commission comments on Lithuania's restrictions. U.S. alarmed that captured Americans could face death penalty. Russia condemns arrogant note from London. Lithuania expands Kaliningrad blockade. Or Kaliningrad. I think it's Kaliningrad blockade. Let's see. Germany on verge of gas emergency. Oh, I covered that one. Let's see. Only 11% of Americans blame Putin for gas prices, says a poll. They're not in good shape, are they? Mexico will ask Biden to free Assange, says the president. I doubt they'll listen, but definitely appreciate Mexico doing so. Broad consensus for Ukraine to become EU candidate, says French minister. Airliner catches fire after crash landing. I believe 4 people were injured, 3 were taken to the hospital, if I'm not mistaken. The landing gear, I guess, gave way when they landed. So, U.S. abolishes Spanish monarchy. And that would be it. Those are the headlines. Whew. Like I said, I told you it's kind of a crazy day, and that's why I kind of went through them as quickly as I could, because there was quite a bit. So, anyway, got done a little earlier than I even thought I would. So, I am going to hop out of here and get done what I need to get done. And, God willing, we'll see you all tomorrow. So, hope you all have a good night. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.